Welcome to the Blizzard Arena.
And the quest for a champion begins today.
The anticipation has been building, and it is finally time. We are live.
Are you ready?
That is a really...
You get over the roof there?
Oh my.
Oh my, what a play, what a grab!
Another jump here on the high ground. Super goes forward, but gets stuck up. The EMP comes in, and ding, he rains down hell from above.
Here comes Pine. Gets one, gets two. Looking for a bit more, gets another one.
Tuno's down again. That heralds disaster generally for the Fusion, and Carpe wasn't far behind. Prophet, he's killed 4 players now on his own.
From Vancouver, locks him in the sound barrier. Sound the bomb coming in from John. Oh my God, he does it again.
Flutter now moving onto the Widowmaker, taking the clutch into his own hands. The headshot after headshot after headshot.
Okay, I like this for the Gladiators. We're going to try and circle around. I'm going to call this the merry-go-round because it makes me laugh. Makes me happy, and Sean Paul switches to the Widowmaker just at the right time.
Oh, the Raven.
What in the Lord's name is that?
That's so good. Oh, that's the
I'm the best tracer in the world.
Oh my word.
I mean, you could have told me that you spoke English, honestly.
The fans never thought they'd see this day. It took 43 matches. Feels like a really emotional moment here.
Sorry.
All right, we're first going to go over the Johnny Somali update on his friend Hank, and then we'll talk about the American version of a K-pop company, and also I'm gonna my opinion on how we're priority. I mean, obviously it's bad, but there's a little bit priority, and not a priority over another problem that I've talked about before. But we're gonna go over this first, so let's get into it.
All right, guys. So we will review this right now. This is the K-Town interview from K-Town Social Club, who reached out to Hank Yu. Now, yeah, I'll just give my live commentary.
All right, and we are back with K-Town Social Club. Joining us, me, Michael Kim, Douglas Kim, and Ed Choi. Joining us all the way from Seoul, Korea is, you may know Johnny Somali. It's Johnny Somali's buddy in Korea. Hank Yu, welcome to the program, Hank.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Yeah, so what's going on with you? Where you?
I love the.
Or does he mostly post on Truth
sorry. I love. I'm gonna go back here, but I love the face on this guy, the face on this guy over here, because you can see these guys are like they know this is gonna be crazy, right? Like the facial reactions of like what the fuck is about to go down right now.
They know it's just gonna be a bad already.
Somali, it's Johnny Somali's buddy in Korea. Hank Yu, welcome to the program, Hank.
Thank you, appreciate
it. Just their faces.
Yeah, so what's going on with you? Where are you going?
I'm going to the gym right now.
Okay, so I just want to say this whole I'm going to the gym, this is how much I lift. Once again, it goes back into this like false machismo, right? This like I'm willing to fight women and people that are smaller than me and weaker than me, but as soon as it's a dude, as soon as anybody else, I'm going to go and call the cops, right?
Now, early in the morning.
Oh yeah.
Wait, what time is it there?
It's like 9 a.m., right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what can you bench press?
They're like laughing.
Oh my gosh!
I maxed down at 100 kilograms, which is like 220 pounds.
That's not bad. Yeah, that's not bad. That's pretty good.
Yeah, but I don't like max out much anymore. I do like which weight I can comfortably bench for like 8 reps without assistance. So for that, it'd be like 60 kilograms to 70 kilograms around there.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah. So anyway, yeah. You sent me a text. You sent me an email because when we first covered the Johnny Somali thing when he got his beat or whatever in Korea, you were there too, and
getting his butt kicked is putting it lightly. He got humbled very much.
We talked about how you kind of got pulled to the ground and some girl was stepping on your face and all this stuff is going on. Like you said, you wanted to clear something up. Like what is the misconception people have?
So and this is the thing that actually is like empirically a lie, and a lot of people have debunked it about like his statement. So he's about to obviously he's going to give the Hank version of the story, which is not the right version, but
obviously not the true version.
He needs to show like, oh no, this is what this is what happened because I'm the man and I could have beat everybody up, right?
Well, a lot of people thinks it's a 1v1 and that guy took me out like fair and square just because that dude took me down to the ground. But in 1v1, I would have pulverized him. Simple, like.
So once again, he needs to like prove himself. He needs to show, oh, I'm so tough. I would have taken him out. Once again, you're seeing like a psychological profile. When you put this together, you see like psychological profiles of people. It's like a psychological profile of somebody who continually needs to prove that they're really tough.
Basically, yes. He took me down to the ground because I was imbalanced, holding a baton. But I actually reversed and bridged, reversed, tripped out, and got a back control.
He's living his like wrestling fantasy.
I think he thinks he's tough, but he's actually not. I mean, usually, as the quotes of somebody that I watch consistently says, those that preach the loudest have the most to hide. And this is no different. He's preaching that he's tough, which means he has something to hide, whether that be Johnny, the fact that he's actually not as tough as he's acting like, or something else. Those that preachers have the most to hide. Always works every time.
Right now, like he's just it's such a joke, honestly.
That's when those are two, that are fatty and the bowl cut kneeled on my legs and his
Fatty is Youngman, who I am going to try to interview actually soon. So
give me a second. I'm just
all right, guys. So show like, oh no, this is what I have. This is what happened because I'm the man.
Okay, I'm just gonna link the channel of. Right. Okay, give me a second. Okay, so I have the channel of. Well, whoops. Oh well. Anyway, we're just gonna continue on.
And I could have beat everybody up, right?
Well, a lot of people thinks it's a 1v1, and that guy took me out like, but
to like prove himself, when somebody who can,
because I was imbalanced, holding
top profiles of people, it's like a psychological profile of somebody who continually needs to prove that they're really tough.
Basically, yes, he took me down to the ground because I was imbalanced, holding a baton, but I actually reversed and reversed, tripped out, and got a back control.
He's living his like wrestling fantasy right now, like.
Yeah, he thinks he's in the WWE or something. I don't know, but looks like again those that preach the Lordus have the most to hide.
Like he's just. It's such a joke, honestly.
That's when those are two, that are fatty and the bowl cut kneeled on my legs and his.
Fatty is Youngman, who I am going to try to interview actually soon. So.
Girlfriend.
So you're saying you got taken down by a fatty? Is that what you're telling me? Because that's embarrassing.
Like stomped on my head and my neck. So
yeah, but. But it's
41.
Yeah, but it was never a 1v1. I think you were just getting jumped because of your support of Johnny Somali and all that. You feel like you shouldn't have been jumped then.
You got jumped because you're supporting some idiot. You're supporting someone who's literally made Korea mad, made Japan mad, and frankly, I'm surprised he got out of Israel alive.
Should have just had a one-on-one.
Mind you, he also had a weapon. He had a 3-stage baton that he had in his hand.
Oh yeah, he did have a spring baton. He had a spring baton. Like that would be a thing you'd see in the United States for some police officers. I'm not sure if that's in Korea, but I don't know if obviously I don't know Korean. I mean I do, but I don't know if the police have batons. I would assume he might have got it there, but obviously he doesn't have access to a police, and he's from the United States. I think he got exported back to Korea, so I don't know how he could get that baton. At least if it was in Korea, I don't know.
And so he had a weapon, right? So let's make that clear too.
One fight.
So he should have had the advantage with a weapon, if you think about it.
No, because I know better not to. I know better than to expect fair fight from a street fight, because that's why, like, I don't like street fighting. If they want to fight me, they can fight me 1v1 at the gym. Because
you don't like street fighting, but you engaged in a street fight. Yeah, that makes sense.
Anything can happen in the
right.
street fight.
So what?
This guy can't have a knife. This guy can have a gun.
Yeah. So why are you friends with Johnny Somali?
Okay.
A gun in Korea? Are you kidding me? Are you aware that doesn't happen? Korea with a gun? Unless you're a police officer, which also they only are allowed to have, they leave one chamber empty. But a regular person with a gun in Korea? No. No. Knife? Sure. Okay, the knife is believable. A gun, everyday citizen in Korea? Not likely.
Real quick, this guy can have a gun. That is the biggest pile of shit. See that he's like pretending this is America or something. Like, no offense, but like once again, Korea's not America, right?
Once again, Korea, only police officers and maybe other people can have guns. America, anybody can have a gun, or Korea does not have that luxury.
Nobody has a gun. Okay, so that's ridiculous. That's a ridiculous statement.
Unless police officers are probably the one exception to that rule.
Like 0% chance you're going to get shot in Korea, right? As part of a street fight. That does not happen, right? Period. No guns, right? So that's not going to happen, right? Being knifed.
Unless you, I don't know, smuggle it into Korea, or a police officer.
Highly unlikely as well, right? Once again, okay, yeah.
It's more likely than a gun.
Physically, is it possible? Sure, but very unlikely. Look at the violent crime statistics. It's not even close. It's not even like sort of close.
It's very low.
What draws you to it?
If you're trying to avoid street fights, I think being friends with Johnny Somali in Korea is probably not a good idea.
That is a very good comment.
That is very good, because he kind of encourages street fights. Not gonna lie, he says come fight me and stuff, so maybe being friends with him is probably not a way to avoid street fights.
Perhaps you shouldn't be defending Johnny Somali, who's literally provoking people to come fight you, because he's literally saying, come get me, and you're defending him. That is...
Yes. First off, he's stupid. Second of all, he's also stupid.
Kind of, in the technical term, although not legal, technical term, what we might call asking for it. Asking for it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Korea has a really bad self-defense law. The reason why I'm friends with Johnny Somali is I don't agree with
because you're stupid. That's why.
But everything what he does, but
see, okay, there you go. There's a statement. I don't agree with everything he does.
There we go.
So he's having to back down. He's having to back down because he knows he can't stand by and justify it. He knows that what he says is done. He's having to say that, right? And then he's going to couch it in some bullshit argument, which is bullshit, by the way. right? Because, by the way, and you're going to see this, Hank understands the fundamental difference between Korea and the U.S. He knows that the laws are not the same.
I mean, he's lived in both places, so he should know both laws and what is allowed in both. Which is why the gun thing makes no sense, because he should know. I mean, you think he'd know that Korea having a gun and a regular day person having a gun is not a thing that happens. Except, I don't think a police officer is going to be involved in a street fight or pull out a gun out of no reason. Where in America, it's more likely you'd maybe find a person with a gun in a street fight. I don't know. But he should know the difference.
Same there. He even mentioned the self-defense law. So he knows that there's differences in the laws between the U.S. and Korea. There's big differences, material differences.
I do support his freedom of speech. And
what do you agree with? What do you agree with?
So
freedom of speech, but not free of consequence, no matter where you go. And Korea is the same thing.
This is something real quick. So bullshit argument, freedom of speech. I am a very big American freedom of speech advocate. I very much in America advocate for that. But I live abroad. I am an expat. I understand, especially as a lawyer, that other countries do not have the same concepts. There are certain things in other countries.
Yes. Also, when you go to a different country, you abide by that country's laws. Which means if you go to a country that does not have freedom of speech, you honor that laws in that country, which includes Korea, includes Japan, includes Israel, includes China and India. If you are stupid enough to go to China and India and somehow make it out alive, if you are stupid enough to do that, the same thing applies to that. China does not have a freedom of speech. I'm not sure about India. Japan and Korea has more of a freedom of speech than Japan probably, but it's still not America. America is the highest of freedom of speech in any country. But you're not in America right now. You are in South Korea, and you abide by South Korea's laws on speech and how to act and how to behave. And if you do not do that, you deserve what the law does to you.
That don't fall under that distinction. And the concept of freedom of speech as it occurs in America isn't the same. Understanding defamation, the difference between defamation laws, is just one thing amongst many things of how the laws are different in one area to another. And beyond that, committing a crime is not freedom of speech. Johnny committed what appears to be multiple crimes, right? That's not freedom of speech.
Also, in America, the same thing that applies. You commit a crime, you go to jail. I think that goes to every country.
Freedom of speech does not mean freedom of action.
Yeah, freedom of speech does not mean you are free of consequences.
I agree with pissing up Korean Xers. For sure. Generation X, yes.
What? That's a term? Excuse me? What?
Why? What did Generation X do?
Generation X is the worst in Korea.
Yeah, explain it. Well, why are they the worst? What do they do?
So it's also these generational, understand, this is another thing too. These generational splits don't necessarily apply as neatly abroad. Right now, understand that there are like similar generational patterns, but the population densities and booms and busts, etc., work differently abroad, right? And sometimes the generations don't line up neatly, right? Japan has a similar thing too with the generations where they have certain categories they put people into, but they don't line up like one for one. There are some similarities, right? Like younger people tend to be more tech savvy, right? Or tend to be less motivated, etc., right? But they're not one for one. They're not necessarily one for one.
So do you know the Generation X attitude, like, how dare you disagree with me?
But the funny thing is, Hank is...
You're also... That's America more than Korea, my guy. You're American as well.
Is a millennial, not a Gen Z. Just to be very clear.
Okay.
I mean, I think that's just a general...
Boomers too, right?
Boomers too, but boomers, I believe they have their own reason because Korea was actually poor then.
Yeah, but Johnny was not just going after Generation X. He was mostly targeting like Gen Z Koreans on the street and like harassing them. No.
I mean, he was targeting older people as well,
and boomers
Gen
too.
Z,
I thought
Gen Z actually loves.
Pretty sure zero Gen Xers were comfort women too. So confused on that.
Yeah, exactly.
Good point.
So it's like this is a fucking great point he just made. Like Gen X was not comfort women, right?
I doubt they were even alive during that time. I mean, I know for a fact they were not alive during that time.
Not impacted. That was like the war generation, right? So the people he's pissing off were of the older generations, right? So that's a very good one. And once again, Hank as a Korean knows this. And these guys, I don't actually know their background. I think they're in America, I believe, but like I'm not sure whether they have Korean. Any of them have Korean citizenship or like I don't know what their status is. Any of these guys, I don't like. It's just generally like I don't know. But like Hank definitely has no excuse to not know, right? So like I could understand a Korean who grew up in America and never went back to Korea and doesn't know Korea. They might be forgiven for not knowing because they didn't grow up with that. But Hank for sure knows, like 100% knows.
Yeah, he doesn't have an excuse for benefit of the doubt or whatever. He should know.
I know, but Gen Z actually love Johnny. Trust me.
You mean like?
I sincerely doubt that. There's no way. I mean, he's a human punching bag in Korea. I don't think of anybody who likes him. Outside of you and your friends, is there any Koreans that like him? Anyone watching that's a Korean that likes Johnny? I'm pretty sure it's mostly nobody likes him.
You mean like
Gen Z does not love Johnny? This is bullshit. This is a complete.
I mean, that's obviously a lie.
Fabrication that Gen Z Koreans love Johnny. Trust me, guys, and you're going to see me. I'm going to interview more of the Korean streamers. They do not like him, right? It is not like.
I think it's pretty obvious that they don't like him. Who would think that? Who likes him?
A popular thing, at all.
80% of Gen Z love Johnny, or
okay, so that boomer that was in the convenience store in the 7-Eleven that was getting harassed by Johnny, that woman deserved to be harassed like that
and have stuff
like
thrown at
the ramen.
No,
what does freedom of speech have to do with action?
Okay,
that I actually disagree with.
So they're asking. I will say a little critique for them.
Pressure.
They should let him answer one question at a time. They're hitting him with a lot of questions, and they're all really good. But like, I would wait. This is just like my little cue, and this is a problem when you have panels. And this is a huge problem with panel interviews, is that you really want him to answer, but they're answering him like they're all hitting him with questions, and they should just wait for him to answer one, and then just murder him on the answer.
As someone who's on a panel, I kind of agree with a little bit. Sometimes you're overloaded with questions.
You had a line then. You had a line. So what did you tell to Johnny when that happened?
I told him why did you do that? That's actually illegal. You can get a criminal trespass warning for that. I mean, and
it's obstruction of business, but sure.
You did.
So then if that woman wasn't,
wait, what?
So that Ajuma was a Gen X.
Wait.
X Ajuma, you'd be totally fine with that?
They were boomers.
No, I know, but what I'm saying is if that Ajuma at the 7-Eleven or whatever was a Gen X Ajuma,
20 years younger.
Yeah. It would be okay?
Absolutely not. I mean, like, I am for pissing Xers off.
Okay, so what is
within legal boundaries.
So what is Johnny Somali
Within legal, nothing he has done is legal. I can assure you that.
do that pisses Generation X off?
Yeah, what's one example, something that he did that you really like?
You know, Kunde culture?
Yeah, Kunde, yeah.
Kunde, yeah. Johnny Somali goes directly against Kunde, and I fucking hate Kunde. Like,
like an old fart. Boomer.
Yeah.
So what's one specific thing that he did to?
So yeah, that doesn't really make much sense, but okay, like not really.
It really doesn't.
Well, Kunde, like what did he do? Did he say something to them, or?
He said, "What the fuck are you gonna do about it? Free speech."
Oh, that's what he said.
Again, free speech in Korea is not the same as free speech in America. Korea is different than America. Do you understand this?
To a Kunde in Korea.
Xer, yes.
So you say that
I am in full support of it.
So you say you support Johnny Somali's right to free speech, right? But then when you
so okay, just to yell at old people, right? Once again, like,
And you can just say baishu to the person, but that's Chinese. But that's beside the point. It's still there's not really the logic doesn't make sense.
That's the right. You're the right to yell at old people. That see, I care about free speech, like because it's fundamental to like the due process, constitution, like political like it's the freedom of information. He literally wants it just to tell people to fuck off. Which once again, in society like in the U.S., you are free to disagree with people even vehemently, right? You are allowed to hate people. You're allowed to say nasty things about people as long as they're not defamatory, right? You're allowed to say they're XYZ, right? In the U.S., for example, you're allowed to say someone is a piece of shit, right? You can say that legally. Legally, it's okay. You can say he's an asshole, he's a piece of shit, he's XYZ, but you can't say anything defamatory. So you couldn't call him a criminal if he's not a criminal, right? So you have to be careful. There are certain things, even in the U.S., which has amongst all the countries legally that I know of, I haven't met too many that are, people can make an argument, but I think the U.S. is the strongest freedom of speech laws. And there's certain things you still can't say. So, but the thing he cares about, the thing that's the big moral thing to him is to tell old people to fuck off.
Great friend you got there. Great moral standing.
Right. It's great.
Continue to hang out with him after he then gets violent with people and puts his hands on people or does break the law. You do realize you're no longer supporting his freedom of speech and you're just supporting his illegal behavior, right?
Right. But Johnny never actually put.
Good answer. And also, he's about to say something stupid again.
Put his hands on people.
He has threatened to rape.
But okay, so it's like he never put his hands on people. That's not the only crime, bro. And even he admits that that's not the only crime. It's not just when you assault people. It's when you do other things, like for example, obstruction of business, deep fakes, right? Threats can be that too.
Ape, hasn't he?
Mopsy, as a joke. Yeah.
That was not a fucking joke.
Because he said that a youth.
There's no way that's a joke.
Should get by Somalis.
No, didn't he say he was gonna get his homies to like.
He said that to a wasn't it? It was, but that was in Florida. But also, it was an underage person, by the way. He did say that.
Or something.
I don't believe so. No.
He's wrong. He's wrong. We have the tape.
Ooh.
We have the tape. He literally said, "I'm gonna get my friends to do it."
I do believe that he said that you should get.
Okay, so you're saying he wouldn't cross that line, right? Because he's not that kind of guy.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not that kind of guy. I'm not like other guys. Oh my gosh. Okay.
He's not a violent dude. Like,
all right.
He's
not a violent dude. Okay.
And
really not. Like,
yeah. And
I almost chimped out on him a couple times.
No,
he almost chimped out on him a couple times.
We've heard you. Okay. So for me, when I see you get mad at Johnny a lot. You try to drag him away from trouble. You yelled at him in the police car to stop drinking. It seems like you're trying to get him out of trouble, but he keeps f***ing around, and you're always there to have his back. Like, I don't understand why you keep helping this guy who keeps defying your orders. Like, you're trying to keep him out of trouble, but he doesn't care, and you keep helping him. Like, I mean, do you feel sorry for him? Like, what is this? What is it for?
Do you feel respected?
I do really feel sorry for him, too, because he didn't kill anyone. He didn't.
I mean, you're feeling sorry for someone who deserved what he's doing, what's coming to him. So, I mean, sorry, but no one should feel sorry for him.
Child, or like he didn't like abuse kids, but like, why is he the most hated person in the world just because he disrespects?
Might I present you the comfort women? That's a big one. The business, throwing stuff around in the business. What's another one? Well, I mean, obviously, the fight stuff.
What the like? There's other crimes than that, bro. Like, that's not all that he did. And also, yes, he did mess with children. He literally, we saw the video.
Oh, right, the video at Loto World where he, sexual stuff around little children. Loto World is basically Korea's Disney, or more Disney than Universal. Universal's more kind of adulter than composed to Disney.
Where he's like messing with the kid to like put in the dollar, right, or the $5, right, to fill his Metro card, and he's like bossing the kid around and yelling at the kid. He's absolutely abusive around kids. How about playing text to speech at full blast, knowingly around children that says sexual things.
At Lotel World. I mean, it doesn't matter where it was, but specifically that Lotel World. And it was text to speech super chats. Where it was also in Korean as well.
He was playing sexual messages knowingly around children.
That would happen in Mexico, basically.
Okay, but it happened in Korea, so...
Why are you talking about Mexico, bud? This is Korea. Why are you... Mexico doesn't matter.
It happened in America. Let's say you did something to offend Americans. Let's say, what would offend Americans?
Oh.
I mean, screw the Americans. There's people whose parents...
I like how they had to think for a second, what would offend Americans? I mean, a lot could offend Americans, right? They didn't want to...
A lot, but there's... I mean, I don't think anything drastic you could do to Americans that would offend them, really.
Say it, but imagine if you went up... imagine if Hank...
I guess 9/11, maybe?
Hank went up and for example, as much as he talks about George Floyd, what if he went up to a George Floyd statue in the middle of whatever, the middle of Minneapolis or something like that, and he just took a piss on it, right? Do you think he's tough enough to do that? No, he wouldn't do that because
he's not tough enough to do it in America, because half America would probably beat him up.
He'd get killed, right? Hank is not willing to go into an actual dangerous situation. As much as he talks about Mexico, he wouldn't go to Guadalajara or Ciudad Juarez and start talking.
Grandparents, people that they know and loved who used to be comfort women. So the real correlation is, let's say your mom has some sort of disease, right? And Johnny Somali then made fun of that disease to her face and laughed about it. Would you feel like you would have a right to get upset?
I would. All right, so...
But it's just words, right?
If I love my mom, I would...
Wait, if? Do you not? What did your mom do to you? Why is this if I love my mom? It should be I do love my mom, and I would defend her over something like that.
Probably get upset, but I would still support Johnny Somali's right to free speech. I'm...
What are you talking about?
I'm a free speech absolutist. I believe free speech must be absolute, and it's the most fundamental right that a human being can have.
Is that because you lived in America for a few years, or you always felt that way?
I love that I threw out there. You lived here for a few years. Yeah, he's
a few years and got deported. Thanks gun law. Some gun law you messed up doing.
He's really cosplaying an American, right? He's really cosplaying an American. Yeah, no, once again, guys, it could be anything. People, it could be anything cultural, right? He wouldn't go to D.C. and piss on a statue of George Washington. He wouldn't go into the Lincoln Memorial and take a shit, right? He wouldn't do any of this stuff. He wouldn't go to the middle of Chinatown, right, and start mouthing off about China, right? He wouldn't do any of this, in anywhere. He wouldn't do any of this. He wouldn't go to Thailand and try to start shit here, right? He wouldn't go to the Philippines and talk in the middle of Manila or Cebu, right? He would get fucked up, right? He would never do that sort of stuff.
He would not do this to places that there's an actual risk doing it to. Come to the South. I dare you. Go to the South of America, of the United States, and try to do it. It will not go that well.
He would never have the balls to do that, period.
I believe I always felt that way because America these days doesn't really practice. It preaches free speech in a fake manner, but it does not practice free speech.
In what? Give me one example.
This is so frustrating because it's like somebody who doesn't know what the concept of free speech is advocating for it, which is it hurts me as a free speech advocate to hear him using this argument.
Oh, that wasn't made by Johnny, huh?
No, that was just made by some random dude on some app.
Hey, okay, so when you were in America and you got the guns, why did you lie about being a citizen?
So this is
oh shoot,
this is these guys, this is a fucking 4D chess. So hats off, K-Town Social Club. This is a great question.
Oh,
so this
respect to them for that
question. That if I am Hank, the only answer that, well, in Hank's shoes, the only answer that's correct here is I can't talk about that because I'm still fighting this. I'm still trying to get this overturned. If he says anything about this, it destroys his chances and it hurts him regarding his appeals and everything else, right? But of course, Hank, you can't stay quiet.
Yeah, I mean, this is not going to go too well. Okay, let's see it blow up in his face.
Reasons. I'll be very honest here, right?
Thank you.
Back then, I was an ultra nationalist, so I was afraid
For
that
ultra nationalist.
Okay.
For America or for Korea?
America.
Okay.
So I was ashamed that I was not an United States citizen at that time. So I didn't want to reveal the fact that I am a foreign citizen.
Okay, well, you're literally okay. So he's just literally destroyed his case. He just literally said, "Okay, yeah, I was afraid of this, so I lied." So all of his appeals, the tens of thousands of dollars or hundreds of thousands that his mom spent on this, are now flushed down the drain. Any chance he had of appealing that is gone. So also any statement.
Well, rip that appeal.
That he's taken or going to give, people can say, well, you've committed perjury in the past. You've actually lied. You said you were a national. You said you were a citizen. You're not, right? You lied. And
this guy's face the entire time is the same. His eyes rolling, his face.
Then you tried all these other methods, to get out of this, right? You tried to fight this. You tried to appeal this, right? You spent all this money on this. And now you're saying it was just because you're afraid? Well, then you're guilty of that, right? Huge blunder.
Like at all, whichever nation that might be, And second thing is on the ATF form 4473, it does say that if you are a non-citizen U.S. national, you should identify as a citizen. So, I mean,
no, it does not.
What? I'm pretty sure that is not true.
That is complete. No, that is not.
If I'm a permanent resident, right?
If you're a non-citizen U.S. national.
Yes.
You should say
you should
you're
identify as a citizen.
So if you're a non-citizen U.S. citizen, that's weird.
Well, non-citizen U.S. national. There's a.
What was your status in America when you were in America? You were just permanent green card holder?
I am a permanent resident, sir. Yes.
Okay.
Right now, too, because I actually appealed.
He lost his appeal. He is not. See, this is the thing. Hank wants to be American so fucking bad, and this is the best thing, man. He does not have a passport, and this is the exact type of person that should not be in here. In fact, here's another little campaign, guys. Here's another little letter writing campaign. Perhaps there's a little bit of support here could be thrown to the DOS, a little bit of information to oppose any naturalization of Han Jong-yu. Right. I think there's really credible evidence that he is the type of person that should not be naturalized, right? Should not be brought in, right? And should have whatever status he has completely revoked, right? There's a lot of grounds here.
Just go to deportation or something.
To revoke it, especially with these statements, with these actions, right?
I mean, he got deported for a reason.
Whatever status he does have. Right. I believe he is currently barred from the U.S. Completely.
So you got,
but that's not what it says on the form. It says, "Are you a U.S. citizen?" If you are not a U.S.
Yeah, fucking smart guy.
Boom. He's gonna get. He has it pulled up ready.
Right here, pulls it up immediately.
Citizen, are you a foreign national legally permitted to reside in the U.S.?
Well, 8 USC section 1101.
Oh, now he's a fucking lawyer, right? So now he's gonna try.
Now you know all the lists and stuff, and you can memorize them off the top of your head.
Quote some law back. Hey, guess what? You lost all your cases, bro. You lost all of your cases.
Finds what a non-citizen U.S. national is. It says even if you're not a U.S. citizen, you owe permanent allegiance to the United States.
But that doesn't say anything about saying you're a citizen.
Oh, so
that doesn't make sense.
You should have been an attorney, huh?
Oh my goodness. Oh man. Oh, that's great.
I love how this guy subtly roasts him. That's so good. This guy gets fucking 5 stars. Oh, you should have been an attorney.
So currently, you're trying to come back to the United States. Is that correct? You're trying to appeal your case.
Negative, sir. I actually plan to move to China.
Oh,
Shanghai.
And
Yeah, good luck in Shanghai. If you think Korea and America is bad in free speech, good luck in Shanghai. Because that's not going to go too well.
do you think that they will?
You think China is going to look kindly to you?
No, they're not.
I know a lot of people in Shanghai. In fact, I got a good friend in Shanghai. I didn't know about this. I might have some talks. I might have some talks about Hank going to China. Huh? That's right.
You're gonna go to Shanghai? You're gonna ni hao? Good luck. You're gonna get told a lot of things like baishu and other unkind words over there. So, good luck in China. See ya. You're gonna bring Johnny with you to Shanghai.
Interesting.
Accept you with open arms. It's kind of a difficult process to I mean, I've looked into it. I'm also curious as well. But isn't it a difficult process to get naturalized there?
Open arms? I don't think so. But if you have
open arms, are you sure about that?
An engineering degree or like a science degree, then it's much easier.
You are an engineer.
And I love that. Also, I love that. I love free speech, and I'm going to go to China. Right? That's
China is outside of North Korea. China is the least free speech country in the world. Maybe the least one. North Korea is basically a hell on earth. China is not free speech at all.
so great. I love free speech, and I'm going to go to China. It's great.
The least free speech country in the world.
I'm a free speech advocate. Let me head to China.
Yes, sir. I am pursuing. I'm going to pursue masters of engineering.
I see.
Okay, great. Hey, so this has been a pretty peaceful discussion. It was kind of a little weird in the beginning because you were walking around and distracted. But after the trial, can you tell us more about the Johnny stuff? And where's Gino right now? Is he back in America?
Yeah, Gino is in Japan, and yeah,
that's an interesting fact. I didn't know he was in Japan. I don't know whether that's true or not. And this is something I want to.
If that's actually true, how did he get back? I thought they got deported.
Confirm. Is he in Japan? Because that's very interesting. Obviously, Johnny can't go to Japan. That's a very interesting fact.
Oh, so Johnny is deported, but Gino can probably still go.
If that is indeed true.
Japan.
Yes.
Okay. Good to know.
If he did come back to Korea, do you think he would be in trouble with the authorities?
Probably not. I mean, Gino didn't really do it.
Yes, he would. Absolutely.
Oh, 100%.
That's why he's not coming back. I mean, if Gino's so not afraid, then Gino should come back, right? Then Gino should come back.
Yeah, Gino, if you're not afraid, come back to Korea. Come back, Korea.
But he's definitely not doing it.
Okay.
Yeah, you were there when. So when I saw the video where Gino was there, and you were standing next to him, and Gino was saying "Can I eat your pee?" and making the la 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 face, and you were laughing at that, right? So that's funny to you, right?
That is actually absolutely funny because most people think that's illegal. That's actually not illegal in South Korea.
No, forget the legal.
Oh, sorry. So I made a misstatement. One of my Korean people just texted me here. I want to correct the record. So I actually said it was Shibman won, or 100,000 won. It was actually 500,000. So that's Oshibman won. So that's 50 man won, right? So 500,000 Korean won. So that's like $300. So as he paid the settlement with between Youngman and Hank was about $300. So a little bit more, right? But once again, this is what Hank is suing people over. It's like a couple $100.
So suing people over $300, really? 300?
Trust me, in Seoul, cost of living, you spend that in no time.
The women don't want to be harassed like that, or do you think it's funny that they get offended by that?
Sure, but I think it's funny because.
Of course you do, because you don't have high morality.
But they're in a club street, and they should expect to get like that.
Oh, we're gonna use that excuse. They should expect it, so it's okay because they should expect to see for that to happen. Is this the argument we're using?
Yeah, but they get offended like that.
What the fuck? They're in a club street, so they should be harassed, like, and threatened to be raped? No, just because you're in a club street. Look, listen, man, I'm all for free speech. I'm also all for I'm all for hey, if a guy wants to come up and talk to you and flirt with you, that's fine. As long as they do it in a calibrated way or a regular way, like, hey, what's your name? Hey, whatever, that's fine. But you don't deserve to get rape threats because you're in a club area. What the fuck? No.
Is this the argument we're using now? What?
Or get yelled at and screamed at? What the fuck?
I personally wouldn't do it, but
But he was enabling it. He was actually.
You were okay with it.
Doing it. He was telling him to get the F out of there. He was yelling at these people. It's crazy. He was there enabling and doing it. So he's trying to cope here because he knows he's getting pushback.
But don't you think just like you should expect to get jumped if you're hanging around Johnny and like that? Shouldn't you also?
Good question.
So expect that. It shouldn't be a surprise, right?
To get jump over that? No, I don't think so.
I mean, whether you agree with it or not, you can't.
Right. I mean, if you were in the fucking Wild West and you started doing this type of shit, you would just get shot. And
I have a question. How does grooming fit into free speech? Because all she did was just use words, right? And she has a right to use your words.
Well, she had my
Oh, that's a good one. It's just words. That little argument against
my fully. Well, she had my fully informed consent to.
Yeah, I don't think he.
He just said, "Oh my God!" He's smart. Look at how happy.
Hello, welcome.
Happy he is when he says this too. He's happy. He's smiling. This is the voice after he talks about. He's like look at this. Look at this. I'm gonna rewind this a little bit.
Right.
Fully. Well, she had my fully informed consent to.
Yeah, I don't think he.
Look at that grin.
That is just wow.
And he said he was groomed. Once again, it's fine if you want to look, listen, I don't care what your orientation is. It is what it is. But he's saying I was groomed in a negative way, right? Like I was taken advantage of. I'm the victim. And he's laughing about it. If you're a victim, you don't speak.
If you're a victim, you don't think it's funny. You don't laugh about it. I think that's just common sense, or just very well known. If you're a victim, you're not going to be laughing. You're probably crying.
Speak about it so glibly, right? If you're an actual victim, if you want to play that victim card, right?
Yeah.
That's that.
All right. Well, anyway, hey, thanks for doing this interview with us. Let's do a more.
I'm actually curious. Do you have a take on the recent happenings about in this past week in Korea? Because you seem to be against the Gen X Koreans, so you must be against Korean people in general or whatever. Things happened this week. I'm sure, as you're aware. Do you have any thoughts? What's going on there?
Well, yeah. I'm not against Koreans. I'm just against Korean politicians.
Sure. But yeah,
I'm against older Korean culture.
Right.
And,
so then
we end the.
Do you have right? Okay. So
then I like to tell you one more thing, but yeah, on the Korean president, he's saying that he did it to investigate election fraud. If he did, he's the hero. I mean, if that's true, right. He's the hero.
But I guess I'm just asking what you believe. What do you believe?
At this point, I don't have any evidences to believe one way or the other. I don't want to make a blank statement and I'm wrong there, but
yeah,
I do believe that if it's false, then all right. First of all, my favorite president is Chun Doo-hwan.
Okay, all right. Okay. You know what? All right. Before we open up that whole
can of worms,
let's save that for next time.
That's a different story altogether.
Because we're a little bit over now. We are going to get into why you like Chun Doo-hwan, but yeah, we'll talk about that next time. Okay. And try to get Johnny on with you next time because we want to ask him some questions too. Okay.
That
next
happen. I mean, that can happen.
Try to get Johnny on.
He's like, that might be difficult. I'm not sure if that's even possible to begin with, since he's kind of in a pickle.
Oh boy, yeah, get Johnny on. You know what? I'm not gonna say anything. You know what? Get Johnny on. That's a great idea. Johnny, go on.
Oh yes, get him on, please. For the content, please do this.
What's the worst that could happen? I mean, Really? What's the word? Come on, Johnny, do it. Yeah. Johnny, just go on. Yeah. Let's get him on. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
Happened when all of my legal cases are
sure
pretty much settled. It's going to be like a couple months, you know.
Okay, sounds good. All right, then.
Yes,
let us know when that happens.
Let me tell you one more thing.
Yeah.
You know, like when like it was like a crazy
You're digging yourself in a hole.
exorcist, they always say,
These guys are fucking afraid of what he's gonna say. It's so hilarious. They're literally in fear of what this guy's gonna say. It's like, let me say one more thing. This guy's already talked about getting pegged. He's already talked about getting quote unquote. He's talked about a bunch of other shit. Talked about femboys, and he's like, hold on. I got one more thing to say.
they're like, yeah, 인사하네?
Right.
Which means like, why aren't you like bowing down to me?
Yeah, but I 인사 anyway.
Greeting you.
I tell them, 니마 비 차오니마 니마 쓰러.
Okay.
None of us are Chinese, but what does that mean? What does that mean?
It's 2024. Yeah, hey.
Nima
Korea
means
is
your
one of the
mom,
most
right?
Americanized countries in the world.
Right.
Oh, that bowing down shit. I fist bump. You know what I'm saying?
All right. Well, you know, I'll fist bump you, but I generally bow to others. It's not a big deal. It's just you know. But okay.
Just different types of handshakes.
All right, Hank. Nice fist.
Fist bump.
Hey, oh yeah, fist bump, buddy. Or not buddy, but
Oh my goodness, got him.
Oh, they even realize afterwards. He's like, "You're not buddy." He's like, I can't even call you buddy. I can't even call you buddy because you're fucking weird. I can't even call you buddy."
Oh,
that is so fucking uncomfortable, man. This is gold. This is a gold one. These guys 5 out of 5 on this.
This is a.
Yeah, he has to say Dongseng. Dongseng is just like a younger brother, right? In case you guys don't know, but people use it for like anybody who's like younger, right? So like in Korea, it's like there's older, younger. That's a big thing, like oppa for females, right? Dongseng, Hyung, right? There's the different levels. So it's like she's just younger. So it's like, yeah, you're just a kid, just a younger guy.
hey, you have a good time at the gym. Okay, we'll talk again next time and get more information. Okay.
You too, sir. Thank you, sir.
All right. Peace.
Appreciate it.
All right. All right, and that was it with Hank Yu.
Look at this guy's fucking face here.
His face is. Oh, it's amazing.
You finally joined. It was kind of odd. It wasn't crazy, but it was kind of crazy.
It was strange.
It was quiet crazy.
It was quiet crazy.
I don't know. He's a character.
I mean, I did look him up. It does look like he spent time in a mental institution.
Yeah, I mean, that conversation was absolutely mind-numbing.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, guys, that was Johnny's BFF. Hank Yu Explains Himself by Korean Social Club. Fucking hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. All right, guys. So,
Yeah, so this is the channel that. Alright, it seemed that one took all the time, so I'm not gonna talk about the one I was planning on the other one I was planning on talking about today. Unfortunately. But yeah, okay. Yeah. I was planning on talking about a K-pop one earlier, but unfortunately we ran out of time, so we can't do that. Maybe next week I'll talk about that. And also the hypocrisy, how they're not talking about Maiden and 143 Entertainment, but they're talking about every other K-pop situation except that one, because somehow the CEO essaying one of a member is apparently not that big of a deal, and everything else is a bigger deal. But for some reason, that's just double standard or high priority. But, you know, that's just what it is, and I'll see you later. I'll see you next week, and until then, Until then, bye-bye.
Welcome to the Blizzard Arena.
And the quest for a champion begins today.
The anticipation has been building, and it is finally time. We are live.
Are you
That is a really. Can you get over the roof there? Oh my!
Oh my! What a play! What a grab!
Another jump here onto the high ground. Super goes forward, but gets stuck up. The EMP comes in, and ding! He rains down hell from above.
Here comes Pine. Gets one, gets two. Looking for a bit more, gets another one.
Tuno's down again. That heralds disaster generally for the Fusion, and Carpe wasn't far behind. Prophet! He's killed 4 players now on his own. From Vancouver, locks him in the sound barrier. Sound is huge. The bomb coming in from Johnny. Oh my God! He does it again.
Flutter now moving onto the Widowmaker, taking the clutch into his own hands. The headshot after headshot after headshot.
Okay, I like this for the Gladiators. We're going to try and circle around. I will call this the merry-go-round because it makes me laugh. Makes me happy, and Sean Paul switches to the Widowmaker at just the right time.
Oh, the Raven!
I'm the best Tracy in the world.
Oh my word!
I mean, you could have told me that you spoke English, honestly.
The fans never thought they'd see this day. It took 43 matches. Feels like a really emotional moment here.
Sorry.
All right. See ya.